Howdy, Pards, Mr. Holster. Just having a little coffee in the tack room this morning. I thought I'd talk about this real quick because it kind of segues into something else. Yeah, kind of. Not really. I got some SIG parts in the mail the other day. Slowly trying to acquire some SIG parts for my 1911s. And I say slowly trying to acquire them because they're kind of expensive. The extractor costs 50 bucks. Kind of spendy, and the problem is it's an external extractor, so it's, yeah, you gotta squirrel some of those away from them in case SIG decides overnight not to make 1911s, which wouldn't surprise me. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, but 50 bucks a pop, you know, you can't just go out and buy 5 of them or 10 of them and put them away. No, not that I need that many, but I would if I had a lot of SIG 1911s. I only have a few, so I got some firing pin springs, and you'll notice, and I knew this anyways, but I thought I'd share it because some of you might not know it. A lot of people are really intent on buying products made in their own country, and I am. I always try to buy USA before I buy anything else, if that's possible. It's not always possible nowadays because the way things are, and I won't go into a big rant about why that is, because this is YouTube. Maybe Jack would on his channel. But at any rate, I got these, and they're made in America. Firing pin springs got a couple of those for 1911. Never know. And of course, another part that always seems to be having problems on 1911s, the firing pin stop. And I did that because that too is kind of a unique design, a little bit different. I think I could fashion one out of a normal one, or out of a Colt one maybe, because they seem to be larger, so it'd be just a matter of filing it down. But these are a little different because they got an inlet on both sides. But I wanted to show you this, and I knew this anyways, and this is, I'm sure, the same with the extractor in question. It's Sig Sauer, and you can get that there. Yeah. Made in India. Yeah, they're MIM parts from India. There you go. I don't know how many of MIM parts from India. I don't think there are any MIM parts from India on the 320. I don't think our military is going to have guns that have MIM parts from India on them. But I think because they're plastic. I think they're metal guns though. Your 220s and your 226, 1911s probably have a lot of MIM parts from India. Thought I'd share that, and I'll bet that $50 extractor is probably a MIM part from India. They pay $2.50 for it. I'm betting. I'd share that, and the reason I'm sharing that to you is these are the things that go on in life, and you really need to pay attention to them and not just cut it out of the bag and put it in there, and you're asking why. I said, well, because you should know what's going on in this world. Don't just assume that it's made in India or made in America or whatever. Actually know what you're dealing with and know what the parts are. As in, you should be aware. Situational awareness is what I'm going to talk about. There's my segue. Situational awareness, as in you would leave, and especially our youth, this is just a major problem with this. And my stepdaughter, I tried to teach her this over and over again. I tried to teach her a lot of things as she grew up before she got to be 18 and went off to college and left here. But you know, you tell them things, and you might as well be pounding your head against a wall. That's what I've decided. Yeah. So one of the things I see all the time is kids with their cell phones walking to their car on the cell phone and oblivious to everything around them. Yeah, they could be, a van could pull up and they wouldn't even know what's going on until the van's already speeding down the road with them in the back end of it. You see what I'm saying? So, situational awareness, are you the type that are going through life looking at your cell phone, oblivious to what's going on, or are you the type that comes out of the shopping mall and you went in there at 4 o'clock and now it's 6 and it's dark, the sun's gone down, and the lights are just starting to kick on with the photo cells and everything's dark, are you the type that just blindly look at your phone and walk to your car and fumble with your keys and unlock your door or your little beep beep? Do that, fumble around looking for that and go beep while you're looking at the phone? Or are you the type that as you approach the car, you're looking underneath it to see if there might be some shadows underneath the car? Are you looking at the doors to see if they've been disturbed? Is the trunk ajar? Are your windows still intact? Is there anybody in the back seat of the car before you start fumbling with the keys to unlock it or your little beep beep? You see what I'm saying? Situational awareness. Do you see what's going on around you? Do you see people approaching? And I'll briefly tell you a story, if I can. You know, Mr. Holster can't do anything briefly. I'll briefly tell you a story, if I can do it in a minute or less. I was with an individual one time that I was protecting, and we stopped at a place for a meeting, went into the meeting, we came back from the meeting, and as we're getting into the car, as we're approaching the car, I'm seeing a gentleman come across 4 lanes of traffic. He's walking across. Instead of going another 100 yards down and using the crosswalk, he's crossing about where we are from the other side of the street across. Meanwhile, somebody else is coming up straight up at the same time, and I take the gentleman's briefcase, unlock the door, and put him in the car and shut the door. And I lock the car, and the person immediately confronts me and asks me if I can help him start his car. He's having problems. Meanwhile, the person coming across the street is heading kitty corner, which he's going to come up in front of the car and behind me, and all I did is sweep my coat back and put my hand on my gun, and both of them turned around and ran. See, situational awareness, I could see that coming before we ever got to the car. Versus looking at your cell phone and hitting the door release and opening the trunk and putting your briefcase in or whatever you're doing and not even seeing what's around you, much less even looking in the back seat of your car to see if somebody's hiding in there. There you go, guys. 7 minutes and 24 seconds of your life you'll never get back again, listening to me babble about an old story and parts from India. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you like my channel, please subscribe. And don't miss my second part of my system series on Saturday morning gun chat. Yeah, if you're interested after part 1. Maybe part 1 you didn't even make it through it and you don't want to see part 2. But part 2 is going to be on this Saturday. Thanks for tuning in. From Mr. Holster and Jack, go out and stay safe. 8 minutes of your life.